Hi everybody, I hope you're all blessed on the Lord. Sorry I'm streaming this early, but this is the only time I really get alone time. Alright, so sorry I did not live stream a few days ago. I woke up sick, but thank God I'm getting better now, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. Start with some daily bread. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Psalm 121:2. He which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. 2 Corinthians 9:6. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth. Psalm 34:17. And lo, I am with you always. Matthew 28:20. Jesus is King. Hello. Hey, hopefully you can see well. Good morning, Mom. Oh, Christian, go back to sleep. Okay. Start here. Oh, that was a food truck. That was a food truck that was helping people out, flood victims. They were feeding them. And that was in Houston. Okay, this is in Hong Kong.
Every weekend since June, tens of thousands of people in Hong Kong have been staging protests against their government and the nation of China. The demonstrations are increasingly turning violent, as they did just this past weekend. Our George Thomas is on the scene in Hong Kong with this report. In Hong Kong with this report.
You know, it's quite remarkable to imagine that more than 24 hours ago, it was a completely different scene here at Shanti Mall in Hong Kong. On Sunday, scores of anti-government protesters squared off with riot police at a mall, subway station, and on the streets of Hong Kong's northern town of Shanti, in what has become an all-too-familiar scene. For 16 straight weekends, demonstrators took their anger and frustration to the streets, setting barricades on fire and blocking roads. Police responded by charging the crowds, firing tear gas and beating protesters. At one point during the day, demonstrators ripped and trampled on a Chinese flag, provoking an angry response from China's state media, which called the act blasphemy. In one suburb, a more peaceful march brought dozens of people together, singing the U.S. national anthem and holding American flags as they walked the streets. Demonstrators have urged the Trump administration to save Hong Kong from China.
Hong Kong is the forefront of the battle against the totalitarian regime of China, and this is the forefront of the free world. Please support us. Please support us in our fight.
The protests erupted over a controversial extradition law, which would have allowed Hong Kong citizens to be extradited to mainland China. Critics argued those extradited could face human rights abuses. The bill has since been withdrawn, but the protests continue as Hong Kongers push for more freedom and less control from China. Meanwhile, the former British colony is bracing for potentially more chaos ahead of next Tuesday's 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. While the Chinese government will hold massive, authorities here in Hong Kong are canceling various events, including a major fire.
Oh, sorry.
And
celebrations, authorities here in Hong Kong are canceling various events, including a major fireworks display that will mark the national holiday on October 1st. George Thomas, CBN News, Hong Kong.
This is in
Living on the edge
near
is
Lake
more than
Michigan.
just an expression for some people who live near Lake Michigan in the village and town of Summers.
You see that house right there? Well, half of it is hanging over the edge. Evan Peterson introduces you to the man who says that he and his neighbors, they're getting a little too close for comfort.
A home with a view doesn't mean much.
Sorry, that's my son.
A home with a view doesn't mean much. Every day we worry about the east storms coming. When it comes at the cost of it possibly crashing down one day. Now the lake level's so high that it's starting to eat underneath and then everything's falling over. Daryl Carl, a neighbor to this now abandoned house, says that it used to have a sunroom and a back deck. But now, within the last year and a half, Mary, all that 2 years, it fell over. I mean, it just all went away. A major issue of shoreline and bluff erosion that's also putting Carl's house at risk. It's our retirement, and it's washing into the lake.
The family says they've been living here for just over 3 decades, and in that time,
Good morning. Jesus Christ is coming. Yes, he is.
an awful lot has changed, including the fact that you used to have a big staircase and a nice landing down there that, well, disappeared 3 years ago.
We had stairs down there. One morning, woke up, they were completely gone.
Disappearing property and houses on the verge of diving in hasn't gone unnoticed by village officials.
The village has actually put in a raise order to have that house removed for a while, but we've been working through the process with the bank that actually holds the mortgage now for them to get rid of it.
As the wind blasts and the waves roll, this house continues to linger above the water.
The problem's probably not going away for any time soon.
A concern that's getting worse, one wave at a time. In the village and town of Summers, Evan Peterson.
Isn't that creepy? They got the yeah, you get it. That's really creepy, that symbol right there. Okay. Oh, I was sharing this because I had mentioned a vision I had before and how I got led to looking up what CG was, and then I also mentioned how they were possibly holding children, and lo and behold, this came in the news, and they actually had put a stop to it. Check this out. Guys, go back to sleep. It's too early to be up. Okay, Milwaukee ends ties with company that holds migrant children. Right here. This was September 26, 2019. Milwaukee County is ending a contract with a nonprofit serving troubled youth because the organization is also the largest provider of detention facilities for migrant children in the U.S. The Department of Health and Human Services said Thursday that Southwest Key provides worthy services, but the county doesn't want to support a company that has been party to the treatment of migrant children at the border. Texas-based Southwest Key has come under fire because of the large-scale separation of children from families under the Trump administration. And it's crazy, it's exactly what I was feeling from that dream, that the children were being separated from their families, and boom, there it is, right there. Southwest Keys facility in West Dallas serves as an alternative to incarceration for at-youth risk. The company said in response to Milwaukee County's action that its work hasn't changed, only the current dialogue on immigration and the distorted view some have of the service we provide. Okay, and so yeah, that was the end of that article, but just pray for those families and hopefully they're all reunited again. Okay. This is an article, I believe. Okay, this cookie thing always pops up. Just gonna check messages real quick. Okay. Alright, this doesn't want to work, but basically it was just saying that Sir Isaac Newton was predicting when the end of the world will come and that we don't have long left, and just basically everything the Bible would say about the signs of the times. Okay, this is...
Show you how deep this is right over here. This is an SUV going pretty slow. This is pretty deep, especially as you cross 50th there. I would say not the best idea, and especially not this car here too. A little bit smaller, a little bit lower to the ground, so you just see how deep the water is. It looks like they are making it through, but as I always say, it's a lot better to just stop and to go the other direction than to go through areas like this where the roads certainly are not in great shape. Again, this is 50th in Wisconsin here on the west side of Milwaukee.
How y'all doing? So we've got a real nice clear morning here. It's
this is from the channel Cowboy and Kip.
what is it, Wednesday morning. I've been waiting to get a clear day early in the morning to do this test. I'm going to take all the lighting down first. So that's what our sun looks like. All the lighting is all the way down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put my number 14 welder's tent on and
see if anything, see if we see two lens flares or two objects possibly. So hang on. Okay, so I've got my number 14 welder's tent on now, and I'm zooming all the way in. And okay, that is not a lens flare, gang. There are two lens flares that I'm going to move all the way around and rotate, see them moving. The square light source and the object on the left are stationary. Those are not lens flares. And it shows up best in the mornings. And that square light source. You know, isn't that crazy? This is significant, and I recall a video made by our friend Carlos Skywatcher, and he was doing a live stream. I think it might have been with Maverick, I'm not sure. His awakening was he was a welder, and he was on top of a roof.
So yeah, the video's about 4 minutes, so if you want to check it out. But as you see, as soon as he put on that screen to help block out that special light, they were able to see it behind there. And they call it, a lot of people call it Planet X and Wormwood, but I think it's just the real sun next to the sun simulator. Like I said in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 10, it says, in the last days the moon will not give its light, and the sun will not shine, the stars. Okay, this is more on how they're really coming in and arresting people. There's no sound to this video, but basically this is a ice raid in Los Angeles. Good morning, Matthew H. Oh boy, I woke my kids up. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Heavy rain overnight left parks flooded in Sheboygan Falls. 12 News Shelby Nunez takes us to River Park, which is underwater.
Well, we're along the Sheboygan River here in Sheboygan Falls, and you can see that they have blocked access to this bridge. This would take you to River Park on the other side over here, and you can see why they blocked this off. It is submerged underwater. Take a look with me over this way. You can see the Sheboygan River just free-flowing and flooding the park over here. That gazebo and those picnic benches underwater. It looks like the water is even creeping up towards other aspects of the park and the ball fields and the tennis courts over here. I checked in with the Sheboygan Police Department. There have not been any other major reports of flooding, but you can see that this is going to take a while for this water to recede. Reporting in Sheboygan Falls, I'm Sheldon Dutez, WISN.
Oh. And I think this is the last one. It's been a lot of flooding out here. There was a lot of rain for at least a week straight. Oh, what is this? Uh-oh. Okay, sorry.
Whether it's over 100 degrees or 100 below, count on the family name.
Hours, the Milwaukee River has risen by more than 3 feet. And here's one of the results of that. Take a look at all of the logs and debris that have washed down from flooded areas upriver and deposited here. And all of this is just within the past couple of hours. This was all cleaned out here earlier this afternoon, and now the debris building up again. All of this while businesses and buildings all along the river continue to pump and bail out to try to stay ahead of the rising river. Pumps are working non-stop in buildings all along the Milwaukee River, including the historic Milwaukee Repertory Theater, where river water's been flowing into basement storage areas for months.
I've never seen river levels this high in the 30 years that I've been in this building.
The river has taken its toll on businesses here, and it isn't letting up. This Pier 106 restaurant's been shut down for more than 4 months and shows no signs of reopening because, well, that's the river partway up its basement door. Historically high Lake Michigan levels have been the main reason for the rising river, to the point where bridges have to be lifted to allow even smaller boats to pass below. But now, recent heavy rains have escalated the problem, even causing We Energies to pump out some underground steam pipes used to heat downtown buildings. Those heavy rains have pushed floodwaters and debris from upstream toward downtown.
Yeah, it was great to have a location there. We prospered there, then the water struck and we were kind of sunk.
Flooding in its building even forced the brunch restaurant to pack up and move from the river.
Moving our kitchen stuff from the old location, cleaning out what we could save from the basement from the flood.
After 4 months, the restaurant reopened this week at a new location several blocks away from the still rising river.
It's been a journey, but we're happy to be back.
Some big problems along the river. Ken, has there been any impact on city services or on taxpayers? I'm told that no buildings or facilities have any flood damage. A lot of the private buildings, of course, have water in their basements all along this area. The city, however, is still gathering data, they tell me, on the number of bridge lifts that have gone on because of the rising water and whether or not there have been any increased maintenance costs to bridges or streets as a result of the rising river.
Hi Jason, welcome. Okay, and I think that's the last one of like flooding. Who's that? What are you doing? He's scaring me. Alright, this is flooding in Spain. There's more than 1,100 military. Stop. More than 1,100 military personnel deployed to Morocco and Valencia regions to help rescue people from flooding. Okay. This was a church that got set fire, and they said the paintings were saved.
When an iconic structure burns, what's lost is many times irreplaceable, but every so often, out of the ashes, something else is found.
With photojournalist Gail Zay, Fox 6's Stephanie Grady explores what's sparking faith from fire.
Milwaukee County 911, Inspector Miller, where is your emergency?
I'm at the Milwaukee County Safety Building. There is a
911, Inspector Miller, where is your emergency?
Hi, I'm at the Milwaukee County Safety Building. There is a church on fire.
Milwaukee County 139, location emergency.
I'm near the Cathedral Center and it's currently on fire.
May 15, 2018.
I'll never forget that day. I got a call from a pastor telling me the church was on fire.
Thick, black smoke fills Milwaukee's downtown sky.
I was staggered, almost speechless.
Standing since 1878.
Never in my imagination ever thought that Trinity would catch on fire.
Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church, an icon at 9th and Highland, was burning. Time pastor,
The fire trucks, they came,
could do nothing but watch.
started dumping water like crazy on it, but the conditions were such that there wasn't much you could do to stop the fire.
This is all that's left of the Victorian Gothic Cathedral 24 hours later. The inside gutted, except for 3 large oil paintings of Jesus Christ, unprotected yet practically unscathed.
You're looking at that going, wow, that is amazing. How in the world?
They were displayed on the altar, now surrounded by fallen charred debris and ash.
Was it coincidence? If you ask the people, they all have a different perspective of God's hand in this.
You have to watch your head.
Deputy Chief Chris Snyder
It gets a little steeper.
of the Milwaukee Fire Department gives perspective on how Trinity's fire started
What happened there?
at a similarly constructed Milwaukee church.
The Eve line's down there. That's where the fire started, right? And then it gets rolling up in here.
The flames engulfed the attic space, eventually leading to the collapse on everything below.
You're looking at these paintings as well.
Now, maybe it's not as miraculous as turning water into wine, but
Looking at where those paintings were hanging. Just the right angle, the right protection, that east wall, however it was, water baking off, not coming down on top of it. And again, looking at it going, okay, so amazingly, these were untouched.
this story of religious items being miraculously salvaged isn't unique to Trinity. In fact, just this year, a painting of Jesus is the only thing that survived a fire at a church in Massachusetts on February 2nd. In March, Freedom Ministries Church in West Virginia ignites, leaving nothing behind but Bibles and a cross, all perfectly intact. A couple of weeks later in Plover, Wisconsin, a 150-year-old Bible survives its second fire when St. Paul's United Methodist goes up in flames. And who could forget the image that emerged after Paris's Notre Dame burned in April? A hanging cross in the center of the cathedral, surrounded by nothing but devastation. So that's the question. Was it a perfect storm of circumstances?
This article was posted on October 7th. The task of determination which web content students can access is outsourced to an Austin, Texas-based company called Lightspeed Systems, which had manually tagged the Satanic Temple's website as mature. And so I guess they're like upset about that. I can't really see too well here to read all this, but I can link it if you want to check it out. I'm sure you heard of the California fires and the power outages. And there's actually an update on that today. They're saying there was 3 recent, what they believe are like pre-earthquakes to a bigger earthquake coming, which I've heard many people are having dreams and visions about California being hit with a huge earthquake. And so I'm thinking maybe that was like a precursor, maybe like preparation in a way for what's to come, also along with everything else that's going on. Okay, this is oh, this is a song a subscriber sent me. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty cute. It's a song about just being ready when Jesus comes. And yeah, that was pretty cool. Alright, there's some really important stuff I want to get to here. Yes. You guys need to share. Say hi. You want to say hi?
Hi.
That's my son, Christian. Hey, go play. I'm still important stuff. Oh, this was pretty crazy. I hope this plays. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Hold on, Molly, before we close. I would remind you that throughout this world, one of the things that exists is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I don't see folks outside of the Jewish community talking about that too often.
Okay,
Why?
guys,
Because
let's
guess
do this.
what? When
Let's
you
come back
open
to
your
this.
mouth, you have to be careful.
Okay, let's take a commercial break. Sometimes, obviously, your moral compass.
So as soon as he brings up the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, they cut him off and they go to commercial. And this happens a lot when someone will say something that they don't want them to say. They'll cut them off and they won't let them continue to speak.
Before we close, I would remind you that throughout this world, one of the things that exists is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I don't see folks outside of the Jewish community talking about that too often.
Okay,
Why?
guys,
Because
let's
guess
do this.
what?
Let's
When
come
you
back
open
to
your
this.
mouth, you have to be careful.
Okay, let's take a commercial break. Sometimes, obviously, your moral.
So yeah, I just want to get that out there. I thought that was pretty interesting. This is from Sister Tish Angelish. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. My wonderful sister in Christ. She had a prophetic vision of a locust in the USA, and then it came to pass shortly after.
Hello guys, it's Tish Angelish. I bring you greetings in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I plead the blood of Jesus over each and every one of you. I hope you guys are doing fine in the Lord. And this is just a little confirmation, prophecy fulfilled, in regards to had a dream that was posted a week ago on October the 2nd. It's entitled, the video is entitled Dream Locusts in the USA. Gonna play a little bit of that, but basically what I thought I saw was a grasshopper, but grasshoppers look exactly like crickets, only the grasshoppers have shorter antennas. So I'm not big on science and insects. I believe that that's what God was showing me, and that's exactly what happened in Texas. I want to say Texas. There was a swarm of crickets. They're calling it a plague invasion, a cricket invasion. Let me see if I can pull up an article. Yeah, they're calling it the cricket invasion is upon us once again. So there are plenty of articles. There's lots of people tweeting about this, talking about this, taking to social media about this. And as we know, crickets make a bunch of noise. But let's just play a little bit of my dream a week ago about dream locusts in the USA. Very close up on a red car, but I was up. This is the dream. I saw a long stairwell, like going from heaven, ascending from heaven down to earth, but I was up in the sky, and I could see it, and just lots of clouds, lots of clouds, and then it was like I went up, and then I went back down. It was amazing. Now, when I came back down, I was across the street at the neighbor's house, across the street, very close up on a red car, and I saw some grasshopper-looking locusts. That's what I saw, and it was like a big grasshopper-looking locust thing, and it was just like stuck to the car. These things were spread out. They were spread out like they had distance. They weren't like all clouded all up close together like a million of them. It was just starting. The locusts had just started, okay? And it started out small where these things were kind of spread apart. It started out small. It wasn't like, I know you guys are familiar for my rapture watchers and my end time watchers, or people that are always looking for signs and keeping up with this stuff. I know you guys probably know that there are a couple of Instagram pages that show the actual swarming locusts over near Mecca and in the various places that they've been this year.
I'm gonna skip to the part where she shows the news footage.
There's plenty of footage online. Take a look at this. watch this one. Very loud.
Sorry about the cursing. Hold on. I'm sorry about the cursing, but these people are like freaking out over the bugs, so that's why they're cursing. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so this type of thing happened in the Bible days during Moses and Pharaoh days. We know about the warnings that went out to Pharaoh to let God's people go, and I believe that, and the Bible does talk about the.
So yeah, I could link this too if you want to check out the rest of her video. She's also a prophetess and has had prophetic dreams from the Lord. So go play, please. Okay, this is not updated. Okay, the typhoon in Japan, I wanted to talk about that because that happened literally right after I had that vision where I was like crying because, you know, the winds were so strong. And they had posted footage of that typhoon that hit Japan. And I know it was at least 50 to 100 people who just lost their life in that storm. And we really don't know the numbers because a lot of the times the news definitely underestimates, not underestimates, but they miscount the amount of people who die. And like with Puerto Rico, they only named like 100 of them and it was thousands. So it's like the numbers are always off, but it was a serious typhoon. I'm gonna see if I could pull up YouTube because the Weather Channel never works correctly when you try to click their links. So let's see if I could. Oh, this is my kids' channel. Ty. Da-da-da. 4 days ago. This looks like the most updated one.
I would be very surprised if someone survived that.
Yeah, but that's why we need Jesus, baby, in these last days.
Yeah.
Jesus protects us, right?
Yeah. And I think was God angry on that day? Was God angry on that
Well,
day?
the devil's angry because Jesus is coming soon. The devil destroys. God doesn't destroy.
Is it gonna crash and would it do everything? Would it make natural disasters?
God's gonna bring a new earth, a new beautiful earth. This world will pass away, and then we're gonna have a new earth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a white earth?
It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be
Is it gonna be
much better.
still the same colors?
No, it's gonna be better colors. More beautiful.
The earth is not that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Lots of people cussing everywhere, right?
You're right. No more bad people. It's gonna be a good earth.
It'll take a very, very long time for everyone to know Jesus.
But that's why we tell people about Jesus. Right?
I tell my friends at school and they just ignore.
Yeah, well, you just love them and you keep shining your light.
Some of my friends listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like my most best friends.
That's good. Okay.
The others, which are bullying me and all that, just hate me and...
You just pray for the bullies, okay? You pray for them, okay?
They always ignore for me to say anything. Even a prayer they even ignore. They like cover their ears and say blah blah blah.
Just love them,
and
Chris.
run away.
You just be nice anyway, okay?
Okay. But they'll keep on saying blah 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 to me even if I'm nice.
It's okay. You just love them, Chris. You don't mind bullies, okay? You ignore them.
Okay.
Okay. You're welcome. Some of these videos don't want to play. I don't know why, but it was a meteor over China. That one was, and then oh yeah, because of these Weather Channel apps. Okay, this is another important one here. This came out September 23rd. It says the human microchips are here. Would you implant one? Over the last 2 decades, human microchipping has experienced a very slow growth curve with minimal market penetration, but things might be speeding up as we enter the age of human cyborg. That's just creepy, like really human cyborgs. The future is now. It's not evenly distributed yet, says Dr. Elsa Sorder, that's whatever. American-Canadian science fiction writer William Gibson, who said his first uttered in a phrase 1993 interview. Okay, now I'm just gonna show you this video.
Kramer of Diggy-Well and Elsa Satiriadis of Pioneers. Very now. So welcome on stage, please, Patrick and Elsa, the brave volunteers. Welcome on stage. Give me a high five as well. Thank you very much. And hello, Patrick. So,
what we are going to do here is a live chip implantation on stage, and we have a wonderful volunteer, Elsa, here. And I'm gonna do the procedure now.
And applaud for the brave leader.
Round of applause for Elsa.
Actually, I think it's amazing, brave. Girl, that's amazing. I think we're done. You just turned into a cyborg. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So yeah, as you see, these people, they can't know what's in the Bible. There is no way they don't know what's in the Bible. I mean, they just pretty much bought themselves tickets to hell. You cannot implant any microchip into your body. Do not ever, no matter how much they promote it, they tell you it's the next best thing, you're gonna be a human cyborg. No, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. The Bible says don't do it. It's gonna disrupt your DNA. It's gonna disrupt the very creation that God made you to be, and that is not to be a human cyborg. These people are clueless to what they are really themselves.
Humans. Thank you for that, and I'll hold this a bit into the camera. Still at Pioneers. Okay, something happened.
Something happened.
It's now success already. Did something happen on Twitter of Pioneers? This would now be the other phone here.
So yeah, they're actually coming out with a lot of these lately, really pushing it. This is actually on BBC.com. Wait, is that the video? And good morning, Dad. Who else? I think that's... Okay, yeah, this is the video.
I have to carry around cards, I have to carry around keys, I have to carry around a mobile phone. I think transhumanism is the step to put all of that inside my body, so that not only my brain is smart, but my body is too.
Did you feel much of a sacrifice?
It's the only way that we can progress. We've made all sorts of technology to do all sorts of incredible things, but none of them respond to my biology. I can understand why people might think it's an extreme thing to do. I can understand why people might associate it with self-hatred or self-destruction, but really, I think it's a way to evolve.
Yeah, so we want these sitting somewhere-ish around here, and then just relax. I'm going to find I have in my left hand an RFID chip, that's my door key. In my right hand, I have an NFC chip, that is my business card. In the middle of my right finger, I have a magnet that lets me sense EM fields. I have the contraceptive implant, a 3D printed kneecap, and now 2 LED implants. Just push that for a second. I was in a very bad car accident that fractured my back in multiple places, both my ankles and both my knees. So my kneecap is completely 3D printed from the NHS. I've also had multiple needles up and down my spine repeatedly and multiple procedures. If I didn't have my chip in my hand, I wouldn't be able to easily access the door. And when one hand's full of your stuff and the other hand's full of a cane, it's really handy to have a free hand free where I don't have to hobble for canes because that's my cane hand. This one is my business card at the moment, but I can put on there all of my medical information. So if something happens and I'm incapacitated and I can't tell somebody my blood type, my medical history, and something goes wrong, they can look up and they can.
So yeah, this is the type of things they're gonna push. oh, it'll help in a medical emergency, and it's gonna help you be safe, and all these lies they're just gonna tell you to try to accept this. And here's one more.
This is the Tesla Valet card that I can use to start my car. So I'm going to dissolve it in acetone to get the chip out, so I can take the chip to encapsulate it in a biopolymer and implant it in my hand and start my car. I've noticed they take about an hour to dissolve completely. They're a little bit heavier dutier than This is the Tesla Valet card that I can use to start my car. So I'm going to dissolve it in acetone to get the chip out, so I can take the chip to encapsulate it in a biopolymer and implant it in my perimeter of the card, so you can't just cut the card in half. These Tesla key cards have no unique identifier on the card at all. So you can buy any of these cards and you can program it to any of your Tesla Model 3. So the way the process works is you would take this card and you would tap it to your Model 3 and you would write a new key and you use your master key, so people can't just randomly write a new card for you to start your car. A few years ago, I got this RFID implant in my hand, and it's just basic access control. If I were to tap my hand on your phone, it would automatically open a browser and go to my web page. It also works with my front door, so it's just access control. And then I pre-ordered a Tesla Model 3 a few years ago, and I heard that the key card was actually going to be an RFID-based technology to start the car. So I was like, oh, maybe I could get that information and store it to my chip and to be able to start my car. When I tried to scan and get all this information off the Tesla card, I was thinking, oh, hey, I can get a lot of information about the Java applet that it runs on, but I can't take that information and write it to my current chip. So it's pretty secure. Good job, Tesla. I was like, I'm just going to take the chip that I have in my Valet card and encapsulate it and implant that one in my hand. Mel is the person that started Dangerous Things, and the chip is very much similar. He went to like his vet, and it's the same chip to track for your dog. And he said, well, if it's safe enough for me, it's safe enough for my pet. So I kind of roped him into my Tesla hack because he's all this knowledge. And when I dissolved the chip, I sent it to him, and he encapsulated it in biopolymer, which is safe to use for the body and under the skin. Talked to a few doctors. They were a little weary about doing this because it's kind of a questionable thing. End up finding a guy that does body modifications and things like that. He's very familiar with the process and sterilizing everything and the biopolymer and the flex and how it needs to be installed. If anyone is like a hardware hacker, they'll think this is ironic. The guy's name is Pineapple. So, like the Apple Wi-Fi sniffer, I'm going to be having some guy named Pineapple install this chip in my hand that starts my car. They say like, oh, you can't like start your car with that. That's not secure. It won't work. And it makes me want to do it more, and not more. They say, no, you can't do it, and I want to like defy them. It makes me question why. Like, why can't you do it that way? Like, what are the limitations? And it actually makes me research.
So yeah, as you see, these people are just completely blind and lost, and they're gonna use people like that to push these agendas. This was recent too in El Salvador. It's like a really huge sinkhole. Hopefully this works. Oh, and then Deb, I wanted to comment. Where can I find You said the sun is losing its light and the solar panels aren't working. If you have something to send me, that would be awesome. I'd love to check that out. Yeah, this was in El Salvador, and it's a huge sinkhole, and they said it's getting worse.
Whether you chase the thrill
Usted tiene la mejor pluma, chico. Sí, como más de llevar aceite.
Sí, todo el día.
Okay, and I believe that's the end of my news clips for now. Then just wanted to go over sorry this is written in 2 different colors. My kids erased it, so I had to rewrite it again. So yeah, a lot of earthquakes in September, not so much in October. But the month's not over yet. There was one on the 16th. It was a 6.3 that it was an 8.1 in Chiapas, Mexico, that hit September 17th. 5.8 in Chile on September 18th. 5.6 in the Philippines. 7.1 in Central Mexico. 6.1 in Japan. 6.4 in Vanuatu Islands. 6.0 Oaxaca, Mexico, 6.3 in Fiji Islands. And then those wildfires in the Bahamas, Kenya, and California. Obviously, Chile, there was droughts reported, and more than 10,000 animals have died from the drought. There's volcanic activity active in Antarctica, Chile, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Guatemala, Indonesia, Italy, Mexico, Russia, and Vanuatu. I believe that's off the Ring of Fire also. And then tornadoes in California, Phoenix, Arizona, Washington, and more tornadoes developing right now. I know there was tornado threats in, I believe, Florida and I forgot the other state. And those are all developing right now. And then pretty much covered everything. And I want to share a vision my mom had, but I'm going to do that separate because that's going to be specifically for certain people. Okay, and then I just wanted to also mention my last 2 recent visions were of me trying to take pictures of a red sunset again. I've had that before. Also, I had a vision of constellations, and I don't remember too much of that, but God is basically, just saying keep your eyes on the skies, I believe, all through that. And so yeah, that's all I have for now. If anyone wants to ask any questions or anything, I'll give you a second, or if I missed it, please mention it. Stock up on vitamin D. Oh, and some fishy stuff going on with those news stories about the Turks versus Syria. They put out a fake video, so I'm just wondering what's going on with that. But I don't know too much, so I'm not gonna talk too much on that. But yeah, since there's nothing else, I love you all. God bless, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Say God bless.
God bless.
All right, bye guys.
1 hour?
Yeah.